Hello everybody, welcome to another video. My name is Brandon and I am offline. Let me explain. So, on my laptop I have engaged a lot of safety measures against using my device. So the main problems, social medias, YouTube especially, AIs, they are now completely blocked. Same with my phone actually. I also have two blockers on my phone blocking everything apart from what I actually need to have online. I haven't whitelisted, but I have blocked lots of things. So, let me explain. I want to stay offline. This entire summer, I want to stay offline. And that doesn't mean that I'm not uploading videos, but it does mean that I'm not watching videos. I'm not listening to music even. Me listening to music. I say I've also blocked TV. Which is annoying because TV for me is one of my favourite things. I've blocked my socials, so Discord, so Snapchat. I haven't deleted WhatsApp though, so I've only really deleted two of them. Can't leave that side. But you know, seeing as I'm in here actually, this has created a perfect thing to. I actually left this out the other day. This here is the Iliad, Homer. Now it's one of the epics. I bought it in February, and do you want to know what page I'm on? (156). I'm on chapter 7, a duel. They're actually called books in ancient. They aren't designed to be heard all in one go, because that's what they used to do. Instead of read, they used to have orators who would speak it. It's poetry, actually, not a book. Can you believe that? But anyway, that's a distract from my original talking point. Anyway, so there are a couple of issues. I do say that there are quite a few issues with having no socials. Now, I put up socials first because humans are very social creatures. It's why we have social media. We love to talk, but I don't mean like TikTok and Instagram. No, those things can stay out of my mind because they aren't in my mind in the first place. But Discord and Snapchat. You see, Snapchat is the only social media I excluded from my no socials list, because I really like talking to people, as probably do most of you. So I had that one for a long time, but now I've cut it off. I've cut off my contact with my friends. Luckily, I didn't have that many people on there, but the reason why I had Snapchat is because some people, you just can't get their phone numbers, and no phone number, no contact. So I deleted Snapchat and now I have no contact with people, which is sad. And then of course there's Discord, which I only really use Discord for like-minded people, and so now I've deleted Discord, I might get distracted from my course, but I'm hoping I can stay put until the end of summer, so I'm deleting Discord until the end of summer, and then I can talk to the guys again. So the end of summer, specifically the summer holidays, is September the 2nd, I believe. So it is July the 5th today. So that means I've got 2 months of no talking to my friends, which is a true shame, but I have this video business to keep me company, and I do hope to invest in it. There are 3 main goals this summer. A, this, videos. B, write again, because I have a story planned. Not like the story I told in the first video I ever did, but a book. I want to write a book. Yay me. But it is a daunting task, and I have been daunted by it, so that doesn't make sense, but never mind. And the third task is I want to go out more and be social with people where it matters, in the real world, not online. Sorry, don't know why I almost said online there, but yeah. Sorry, I just at dinner, mate. So I want to go out and make friends in the real world, hopefully get a girlfriend. But well, perhaps that's not much of a goal, because it really encompasses my entire thing is self-improvement, really. I want to actually get on with self-improvement, because I've joined these people, and yet I'm not actually doing anything with it. I'm just being there, which is sadly one of my biggest problems. You see, I say I do stuff and I don't. But anyway, I think that is almost done with this little video. So, no, it's not. That's a lie. I've only just started this. Now, let me tell you about what I've been doing so far, because it is actually quite boring at first, and I'm still in that boring stage, and I'm sort of slipping back, but I am fighting against it. So, I had a childhood story. It's called The Wizards of Once by Cressida Cowell? Yeah. So she's the woman who also wrote How to Train Your Dragon, and it's 12 other books. 11 other books, but anyway. So, this story, I had the first 2 books for 8 years. But I never got the other 2. It's a 4-part story, you see. And I never got the other 2 until Christmas. But as you can tell, it is now July. And you see, I was quite busy with doing nothing, being online. So I wasted my time and I barely read anything of the 3rd book for that 6 months. But in the last couple of days, actually, I finished both of the books, and so the story is complete, which is such satisfaction. Because you see, she involved a mystery with this story of who the narrator is. She said it was a character inside the story. And so, can you imagine me, for 8 years, being stuck halfway through a story with a mystery that I was too stubborn to look up on Google and get my answer. For 8 years I held that mystery, and so I finally managed to get my conclusion with that story. But now I'm finished with that story, going back to the Iliad now. So practically everybody knows the Iliad, right? Pretty sure everybody does. But as I've already told you, I bought it in February. It's been 5 months. 4.5. 4.5 months of it sitting here, essentially. Because I quit in book 5, Gods on the Battlefield. Because book 2 is an absolute slog. It's called The Multitude, and it essentially covers how many people went to Troy. But apart from that, it's just a really long book, and it's not exactly wrote in good English, because it's not wrote in English, it's wrote in Greek, ancient Greek. There is also the Odyssey, which I also bought in Birmingham. Also, when it was still cold. I think I went to Birmingham in March. Not very good. So anyway, I really need to start reading this thing, because I can't just have it sitting here. I've got a bookmark in it, and that bookmark is 156 pages in. Do you know how many pages are in this book? If I can find the last page, because there's also a glossary. Notes. Let me just see. There are 610, and I'm on 156. So when I say I quit TV, I specifically say I quit TV. In fact, I still have a hoard of movies that I am overdue on watching. And when I have quit digital music, it just so happens that I've taken a sudden interest in the stereo downstairs, and unfortunately it doesn't yet have a speaker. But I've compiled all of the CD discs, and I am ready to play all of them. So there's a lot of discs on there, and I really want to listen to them. I've compiled them on a shelf, and I've been reuniting discs with boxes, and boxes with discs. Oh my god. Sorry, when I tell you that I ate dinner, spicy Indian, sorry. I should have waited a little while longer, but anyway, that burns, I'll tell you. What else have I done? Yeah. So I have watched How to Train Your Dragon, Star Wars, the entirety of it, not including the sequels because nobody likes the sequels. So yeah, I've got a lot of movies that I really need to watch. And I have a lot of CDs that I really need to listen to. You see, Dad and Mum, they used to buy CDs because, well, that's how you listen to music back in 2000 and earlier. So I have no idea why I've taken a fascination in this area, but there are a load of CDs, music CDs, that have not been played in years, some even decades. I remember they used to have this music rack, but it was moved a couple of months ago and I haven't found it yet, so there was a load of CDs in there, 5 lakhs of them, not... Oh, and a lot of old games, including a copy of Half-Life, the PC version, which is just mental to think about. And I'm going on a tangent again. Oh my goodness, I've been talking for nearly 18 minutes. Damn! I haven't even told you about AI. My. How could I forget about AI? So, AI, that pain upon the world, is a brain rot. It's not as big a brain rot as TikTok. After all, Italian brain rot is mental. Tralalelo, tralala. But anyway, yes. So, AI, for me, has rotted my brain for the past 2 years. Nearly 3 years, by the way. So, 2.5 years, I'd say then. I need to think, sorry, I'm going off tangent, yeah. Telling you about how much time there was. But anyway, it has polluted my brain, or rather, allowed my brain to relax and let someone else do your thinking. Obviously, that thinking being it. So, for the past 3 years, I haven't really been able to think. And that is a problem. Because no think equals bad brain. Brain rotted, in fact. So my brain hasn't had a proper time to think in the past year or so. So I really need to get off AI, and that's what I did for the most part, because I accidentally blocked it. Well, I say accidentally, I forgot to have it blocked, and so I've just been using it the past couple of days until I blocked it earlier on. In fact, it must have only been about an hour ago that I blocked it. And everywhere I look, I keep finding myself going back there, because when I have a question, the easiest place to go isn't Google anymore, it's Ask AI. Ow! So, I need to put this back so I can stop fiddling and start talking. Okay, so whenever I have a question in my mind, I can always just ask AI, because that is the standard nowadays. You go and instead of searching it on Google like you're supposed to, or having to think about it yourself and coming up with an answer for yourself, you let someone else provide you with the answer like that, which is a bad issue. Right, I'm pretty sure I've covered AI, I've covered social media, I've covered TV, and I've covered music and movies-ish, and books too. I'll now tell you about food. Now, I know food is not entirely related to this subject, but it is to me. For practically my entire life, I have been relatively unhealthy. Not to say I have been unhealthy or ever have been fat, but I have been relatively unhealthy, just the standard junk food. And that standard junk food is slowly disappearing from my life. And even better, the healthy food is returning. You know, a couple of months ago, I didn't think that I could ever have ever have oats instead of cereal. My friend, my online friend actually, we had a discussion about it, and he kept telling me that cereal's bad and I needed to stop having it because it's full of sugars, yeah? But anyway, so on the 23rd of May, which, 20 something of May, I think, I stopped eating cereal. I don't know, it's been 23rd of April, actually. Goodness. I haven't eaten cereal in 2.5 months. Can you believe that? I need to stop playing with my hands, but anyway, it's fun. So, 23rd of April, I started making oats instead of bowls of cereal. Overnight oats, to be specific. I borrowed a friend's recipe, so he pours oats and he pours protein powder, and then he pours milk, and then he puts it in the fridge overnight, and then in the morning he has a nice breakfast. It is very healthy, but it takes ages to eat. Like, maybe he puts more milk than I do, or maybe I put more oats than he does. But it is sticky, I tell you. It is very sticky. "25 minutes. Goodness, I talk. And I was right. 8 minutes is way too. Okay, fine. That's more ranking. So, anyway, so I ran out of protein powder a couple of 2 weeks ago, I'd say. So I ran out of protein powder 2 weeks ago, and obviously I couldn't make the overnight oats without the protein powder. It'd be kind of pointless. And that's what I thought anyway. So every time I don't eat that oats, I instead have toast, which in itself incredibly unfilling and unhealthy, actually. People always portray toast as really healthy, and it is partially true, but it's so unfilling. You have 2 slices of plain toast, and oh my dear Lord, you won't last an hour. And so, instead of just waiting for more protein powder, I've started eating porridge instead. So, instead of having cold overnight oats, I get oats, pour milk in, put it in a microwave for 2 minutes, then I put sugar on it. It's a really delicious meal. Sure, there's less protein in it, but what there is 27.5 minutes. Damn. What there is very fillingness. That doesn't make sense, but never mind. Anyway, it's very filling. And because of that, it's a lot better than toast and cereal. And it's very tasty, actually. If you put a tablespoon of sugar, which I know that's a bit unhealthy. I don't know how much sugar's in a tablespoon, but it's probably more than I should have. But a tablespoon of sugar, not a teaspoon, which is a lot smaller, just makes it really nice. Stop playing. Okay. So I haven't had cereal in 2.5 months, which will probably have to change because I'm going on holiday soon, and well, not everybody else eats oats. In fact, I don't know what everybody else eats. In fact, a lot of us don't even eat cereal, really. But anyway, the others don't eat oats, it's just me. I really should have had some milk. So, let me think. Covered oats. Oh yes, chocolate and other stuff, but specifically chocolate. So let me tell you about my dear friend Chocolate. So, Chocolate and I, we're good friends, but I know it's unhealthy for me. Chocolate's a good friend, but an unhealthy friend. So, just like I did last year, this year I began to stop eating chocolate again. So, there's a funny thing, once you stop doing it for more than a couple of days, you don't really feel the desire to eat chocolate after you stop for a couple of days. Now, this year I permitted myself 5 chocolate days. So it starts it starts when I eat the chocolate and it ends 24 hours later. Exactly 24 hours, not a minute over. Meaning, if I start at, say, 1:35 p.m., not a.m., be a bit concerning, but if I start at 1:35 p.m., then the next day I can't have it at 1:36 p.m. Simple as. Now, I have used 2 of those 5 days. One of them was a complete accident, the other one was purposeful. So, probably shouldn't have wasted that first day, but that was an accident. But anyway, so I have 3 days of chocolate left this year. So I started on the 150th day of the year, which is May the 29th. Did I start on May 30th? But anyway, so no particular reason actually. I just thought 150th day of the year is a nice even number, you know. But anyway, so I don't know what day of the year it is today. No, actually I do. I do know what the day of the year it is today. It is... I think it's the 185th day of the year, so... because 365 equals 182.5 when split in half. Now the 182.5 day of the year, halfway through the year, is July the 1st, and it is July the 5th today, meaning 182 plus 4 is 186. It's 186th day of the year, meaning I've been on the Choco Challenge for 36 days. And I've already used 2 of my... Sorry, did I say 33 here? I've already used 2 of my chocolate days. And 365 minus 186 equals not a lot. Not a lot indeed. 182.5 minus 4 is... no, minus 3 is... Stop playing. 179. I've got 179 days left, and I've got 3 Choco days left. One of those days is Christmas. Perhaps another one is my birthday. and then the last day will be whatever. So I've really only got one chocolate day left, if you think about it. So, moving on to other junk food, I have been listening to the voice in my head that says no. So, I do have a problem with junk food. Not that it's a big problem, but I've always just had junk food as if it really didn't matter. But it does matter a lot. So, junk food is a bad food. Ultra processed, sugary, or whatever unhealthily. And I have ate a lot of junk food. But that's beginning to change because I'm listening to the voice in my head that says no. Which is brilliant. It is brilliant. Even though I have given in sometimes. Because of the chocolate challenge, it's actually decreased the amount of junk food I can eat, because a lot of junk food is chocolate and sweets and crisps. But crisps I don't really want to eat, actually. There are three. There's a bag and a box. That makes two, not three. There's a bag and a box of crisps. Walkers, so it's especially tasty. Just sitting in the house. And I've just been saying no every time I want one. I say I want something and then I say no to it. I say, oh yeah, let's have it, and I walk straight past it. I'm tricking my mind. And it's actually working for the better. Shut the hell up. So because of that, I am healthier as a result. I'm not just giving in to sweets, even though I sometimes do. And I am quite grateful for the chocolate challenge, actually, because so last year when I did it, it was hard at first, and I realised that again, ish. It was hard again, yeah. But just with anything, once you get past that resistance well, sometimes resistance is stronger and it takes longer, but other times resistance is quick. That's with chocolate. Chocolate, it seems really addictive, but it's not like this. The addiction between day 1 and day none isn't actually that big. It's more like this. About here. Maybe here. Not here. But here. And that is because chocolate is elusive. You think that it's very addictive, but if you consider what is actually addictive, you know, things I can't say on here, that stuff is my entire wingspan. That's how addictive it can be. chocolate is like this. It's nothing. Out here, it can take years to break free. Months, maybe. Days. Chocolate is not actually very addictive. Most people think it is because they never actually try quitting it. That's sealed on. Okay. Obviously, I can't actually say what is okay, but we all know what it is, right? We all know what that problem is. So chocolate and other junk food isn't actually that addictive. I couldn't actually say if I was addicted to cereal or not, but I broke free of that pretty quickly. I don't even want to eat cereal now. I'm reluctant to eat cereal. Those days that I forgot to make the oats, I didn't want to eat. Oh my, 41 minutes. I didn't want to eat cereal. I had this idea of a streak, and a streak is actually very important in all of this, actually. Once you have enough momentum, you really do not want to lose that streak, you know? You really don't want to lose it. You think at first, wait, what did I just say? I've lost my track. Once you got a streak going, you really don't want to lose it. After only a couple of days, it's pretty easy to break a streak because you're saying, oh, it's only a couple of days. But once you put enough dedication into it, my Duolingo streak is on 170 days today. I just did it about an hour ago. 170 days. But it was pretty easy at first for me to want to quit. So I have only Free Street 4 times, I think, maybe 6. Somewhere between 4 and 6, maybe 5. I've done it every other day. Some of them I just forgot to do it. Some of them I really didn't want to do it. But keeping that streak going is what keeps a lot of people learning that language. Not just because they want to learn the language, but because they want to keep the streak going. My throat really hurts, I'm sorry. Sorry. You probably shouldn't have seen that, should have paused it. But anyway. Sorry. 54 minutes, damn. I have been talking for a long while. Ow. So, oh my goodness, did I even... I'm pretty sure I strayed from the original topic, haven't I? No, actually, the topic of this video is to... What was I thinking at first? Oh yeah, silly me. It was about being offline. Well, that certainly strayed. So, oh my, wow, that definitely strayed from original targets. But anyway, since I'm still on this topic, I may as well talk about it, because it does contribute to my goal for this summer, even though it's definitely not about being digital. So do forgive me, but I have just made 3/4 of an hour video over something that isn't the original topic of this video. About the first 15 minutes, I'd say, were part of the topic, but now it's 30 minutes of off-topicness. And we are now on 46 minutes. Damn. Now, what else is there? Yes, I've had a couple of conversations about this with ChatGPT just before I blocked it, that is. So, I want to use this time offline to find people. Now, it is counterintuitive to find people because it does rely on communication online, and I do see the irony in that. Getting a person's phone number is actually more difficult than getting a Snapchat, sadly. And of course, even a phone number requires online communication, because who the hell uses a landline nowadays? I certainly don't. Stop playing. So yeah, I really want to find friends, maybe even find a girlfriend, but of course that is more difficult, because if you really think about it, not many people are offline nowadays. It is a bit of a shame, but nobody really goes out anymore, and that's because there aren't many places to go out to. And let's admit, the places that you can go out to, especially if you're my age, 18, and what you want to do with those places, I don't really like. Obviously, drinking isn't for me. Smoking and vaping isn't for me. Definitely not doing drugs. But me going out to a park, it does exactly limit my ability to find someone, because let's be honest, who the hell goes out to a park in 2025? Children and parents, dog walkers, runners, people who want to get hazed. Unfortunately, you don't really find many people. Well, or maybe it's just a streak of bad luck that I have, but I can't find many people to like. Exactly. Because I'm not online, I don't have that ability to just cold approach somebody online, start a conversation with somebody. You actually have to find a stranger, which is rather annoying. But if I don't manage to find someone, which I would hope I do, goodness, if I don't manage to find someone, I really want to just improve on myself using this offline time. Great, now I've got an itchy nose and an itchy mustache, but anyway. My screen time is way too high recently, so I need to pump it down, pump it down, pump it down. Let your feet down, stop it. No music, no videos, no AI, no social media, no junk food. Going out, talking with people, working out, working, meditating, reading, blah de blah de blah de blah. This is going to be a summer that I hope will fix me. I'm 18, I need to work it out now. This is my time to work out. So, thank you for watching this video, I guess. If you managed to watch to the end, I hope at least one of you did, because I just spent 52 minutes talking on this. So this is my goal for the summer holidays. I forgot all my catchphrases. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. I forgot all my catchphrases. So, what was it? Make the most of every day and have a wonderful life. Bye bye.